Hey guys, Marco here, welcome back to another lesson. Today I'm going to talk to you about the finger picking technique, and I'm going to answer one of the questions that I get asked the most. What should I practice with the finger picking technique? And how can I practice things with the fingerstyle technique? Now, one of the things that I love about the finger picking technique is the fact that it's extremely versatile. And so we can practice a ton of stuff. But today we're going to focus on how to practice scales, how to practice chords, and how to practice technical exercises. Now guys, obviously I'm not going to show you how to practice a scale up and down the neck with the finger picking technique. There is already a ton of stuff available on the internet about practicing scales. Instead, I'm going to show you how you can use the finger picking technique to practice scales in a musical way, how to play chords and add more color to the chord progressions that you play, and how to use technical exercises to really improve the finger picking technique to the point that you need. So we're not going to focus on, super speed and crazy stuff, but we're going to practice the finger picking technique so that you can become creative. Awesome lesson. Hopefully you're going to like it. You can get the tab for everything that I play. Check my Patreon page and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up with all the upcoming lessons. Now let's have a close up and let's get started. Now, scales are extremely important. We usually practice scales because we want to play faster, we want to improve our finger stretch and strength and control. And the most common way of practicing the scales is up and down the neck. For example, an E major scale. Now, the awesome thing about the finger picking technique is the fact that we can treat the guitar more like a piano. And so I am going to practice the scale and learn the scale on 4 strings only. So I'm going to learn the scale on D, G, B, and E string, and I'm going to leave out the A and the E because I'm going to use the thumb to outline a chord. So then when I practice the scale, I don't just play a bunch of notes, I'm actually playing the scale over a chord. For example, if I play the E major scale, I'm playing an E major scale within 7 frets, okay? So E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, and B. Now, I can outline a chord with the thumb, so I'm gonna play an E major chord, 6 string open. The moment I add the chord to the scale, I'm not just playing a bunch of notes up and down the neck anymore. I'm playing music, I'm playing a melody. And so for example, I could play an exercise like this. So this is much more of a musical idea rather than just a scale. I can also change the chord and, for example, play the A chord, A major chord, and play the E major scale over the A chord. So I'm just playing the root note A, and I went back to the E major. I could practice the scale with a C sharp minor chord. Which is a little bit more challenging because we have to hold down the bass note here. But A major, E major, B major, Now, I'm still practicing the scale, I'm still improving my finger picking technique, and I am getting all the benefits of playing the scale, but I'm also developing my musicality, and I'm also training my ears, because when I play the scale with the chord, I'm forced to resolve on certain notes. For example, I'm ending the exercise on the note E and the note B, which sounds pretty cool on the E major chord. And so you're kind of forced to, experiment with the notes rather than just play up and down. Now, obviously, you want to keep practicing the scales up and down the neck as a technical exercise. This is extremely important. But you also want to add this musical approach. Now, this approach doesn't work with all the keys. Some keys are more difficult, but start with all the keys that have open strings, such as the E major key or the E minor key, for example. Now the second thing really cool is playing chords with the fingerpicking technique. We can simplify chords, and we can also add extensions to the chord and really outline the extended note. Now what I mean by that is, let's say that I'm playing a chord progression: C major, G major, A minor, and F major. And the first thing that we can do with the fingerpicking technique is that we can simplify the chord. And so it's a very simple thing. Just play the root note with the thumb and then one additional string. It doesn't matter which note you're playing, just play, for example, the B string for each chord. So for the C major, G, A, and F. Okay, so I'm not really considering which note I'm playing, I'm just considering the strings that I'm playing. Now just think about it. If you want to play a C add 9 chord, we're going to have to add the note D. And I can play the note D on the B string for number 3. So I could still play the chord with just 2 strings and outline the extended note D. So I will play the C and the D. And I can do that with the G major as well. So with a very simple approach, I'm already creating a completely different chord progression than okay, so now we can obviously add an additional string, okay, if you are more advanced with the fingerpicking technique, just add an additional string. So I'm going to add the G string, for example. So I was playing C add 9, a G add 9, A minor add 9. So I'm playing A string open, the G string fret number 4, which is the 9th, and the B string fret number 1. It's kind of a stretchy chord, but it's still pretty simple if you had to play the whole thing. So just 3 strings. And the F add 9, 3 open, 1, rather than we end up playing this. Now guys, so let's just briefly talk about technical exercises that I like to do with the fingerpicking technique. There are a lot of different patterns and symmetrical exercises, but there are a few of them that I like to do all the time. Now for me, index middle is one of the patterns that I use all the time. And so I like to just warm up with very simple exercise like this one. So I'm just playing on 2 strings, B and E string, and I will have fret number 1 on the B, fret number 2 on the E, fret number 3 on the B, and fret number 4 on the E string. I'm always alternating index, middle, index, middle. Now you can transpose this exercise up and down. So for example, and then you go one fret up, so this is probably my favorite alternate picking, symmetrical technical exercise. I will also do symmetrical scales pattern. So this is 1 3 1 3 4. There are different combinations as well. 1 5, sorry, 1 3 5. Now for an arpeggio pattern, I just really like to play on chords, and so let's say that I want to improve a certain pattern such as thumb, index, middle, index, ring, index, middle, index. I will just play this one over a chord progression. Now I don't really focus a lot on speed. I never use a metronome because for me speed isn't important. I just want to get the nice fluidity and control. So these are the three things that I really like to, work on when I am, playing and practicing the fingerpicking technique. Melodic scales, extended chords, simplified extended chords, and also simple and basic symmetrical patterns. So I hope this video is helpful for you guys. See you next time for another lesson.